context. You got to go back to 1948. Okay, let's go back to 1948. In 1948...
No. Don't talk about that. Why is he? He's losing. He's losing the argument. He's still losing the argument.
Actually, Hamas started this whole thing. Remember October 7th? Actually, that's wrong. Before October 7th, Israeli security forces killed 248 Palestinians, and 40 of them were children, and that was just this year. And if you want to go back further than that, we can look at the recent history of war crimes committed by the Israeli government. Operation Protective Edge in 2014, Operation Pillar of Defense in 2012, Operation Cast Lead in
it's cool that he's letting this guy fucking spit. It's true.
2009.
What started each one of those operations?
They started it! Dude, it's awesome. Ben Shapiro's always been baby-like, obviously, which
baby
is,
girl.
Yeah, like, he is very baby girl, for sure. But, like, something about Israel turns his commentary into, like, the most petulant, spoiled child, like the fat kid in the Wonka's factory or whatever the you know what I mean? He's just
Otto?
like, I don't know.
What's his name? Otto, Chad?
I don't know. I've never even watched it. I've just only seen like gifs of it.
Otto.
But
it's Augustus
Gloop. I don't know. He just is
shit.
like,
I'm changing my name for you in my phone to Augustus Gloop.
Okay. He just sounds literally like Boss Baby, like a baby throwing a fucking tantrum.
Islamic barrages of rockets into civilian centers in Israel.
Dude, I'm not even dude, we have to give the Gaza Strip an Iron Dome. First of all, arm both sides of a conflict, we make more money. That's number one.
Businessman.
I'm a businessman, dog. I love the military-industrial complex. We need to start arming the Palestinian population so they can have an even playing field. Like, what do you mean? More war, more conflict. Conflict continues, right?
War is good for the
economy. More
economy.
money. War is good for the economy.
That's what started each one of these operations. I love this moron. I guess the idea here is that, if you point out that what has caused the current conflict is the massacre of 1,500 Jews, like, well, before that, Israel killed other Palestinians. You're like, yeah, but why would they do that? And the answer is because they were associated with terrorist group.
Palestinian babies, Israel's greatest nightmare. Nobody does it like the Palestinian babies do.
The thing is, babies grow up and they become terrorists.
Yeah,
maybe
they're terrorists in the making.
Do the math.
Yeah.
Do the math.
He's so good. He's so good at the arguments.
And he's like, yeah, but what about the conflict before? Oh, you mean because the terrorists were firing rockets into Israel? It's an infinite regress of dumb.
That's always how it works. It was always like, first intifada, terrorists throwing rockets into Israel, It was always the same. It was always the Nakba, terrorists throwing rockets, Hamas throwing rockets into Israel. Guys, never forget, Israel is always in the right. It's just crazy. I don't know how it happened. They're always in the right. It's just so crazy. How, like, the luck. Like, think about the luck that, like, for 75 years, every single preemptive first strike that you've engaged in, you're always doing it in self-defense.
Just name a bunch of operations without actually explaining why the operations were initiated.
Yeah, but you don't mention why.
Yeah, why were they initiated? I wonder. I don't know. Maybe and brutalizing Palestinians at the mosque in Jerusalem. Every year, there is literally a march through Palestinian territories where Palestinians live in both Sheikh Jarrah, but also throughout the West Bank, where the most far-right ultra-Zionists will march through the streets and purposely try to incite the Palestinians and instill fear upon their hearts by celebrating Israel's territorial acquisition. And they say incredibly horrifying things in that process. On top of that, they do the annual Al-Aqsa Ramadan raids. They also stop the Palestinians in Gaza from even going into Al-Aqsa deliberately. They restrict their freedom of movement. They beat the out of the people. They beat them in the mosque. It's completely unacceptable.
Cast lead happened. Hamas fired rockets into Israel. And that was because Israel broke the ceasefire agreement they had on November 4th, 2008, while the entire world was in euphoria over the United States electing its first black president, Barack Obama. Israel used the opportunity to break the ceasefire agreement and raid Gaza and kill Palestinians.
For no reason, they're just raiding Gaza, just for fun. They just raid.
Dude, he predicted Ben's argument. This guy's awesome. I'm going to give him a follow. Thank you, Ben. He did a pretty good job Okay, sick. I normally don't like TikTokers in general. Hate those guys. Silly and you know, especially ones that like talk about politics every now and then. Lame.
Did you just fart?
Are you lying so that you can, you know, you have no noise gate, right? If I farted, you could hear it.
I think you just pulled a silent but deadly on me.
Oh, that's funny that you pulled the ripcord.
Invade Gaza.
Is that how much I upset you that you had to lie about it?
This is a chemical attack that's happening right now.
It's ridiculous.
To do what exactly? To steal their nothing? What would the raid entail?
Ooh, he had a really good one. That was good.
To steal their nothing.
Well, I mean, according to the Israeli officials, they call it mowing the lawn. So that's why they do it. To kill them.
Israel so desperately wanted not to be in Gaza, they surrendered the place to a fucking terrorist group for 20 years, who then...
Yeah, no, totally. And they just like kind of let them thrive after that. It was pretty cool when
famously.
Yeah, famously. First of all, they literally pulled out of Gaza specifically so they could bomb it. Do a little bit of ethnic cleansing there, you know what I mean? Also, the secondary purpose is that you could just sit there and act like that is the only Palestinian Authority that you care about, that you care to deal with, that you increasingly radicalize, knowing full well that they will retaliate.
You know, and one thing that I've noticed, they keep saying they're running out of power, they're running out of fuel, they're running out of water. You know the thing they haven't been running out of? Rockets.
Well, you're leaving out a lot of context. You got to go back further than that. To 1967? Yeah, let's go back to 1967, when Israel started a preemptive war.
Egypt was...
But wait, that means...
Every time he makes an argument, this guy's like, you're an idiot, Ben. And then Ben's like, God, no.
I like that he is having an argument with himself, but
It's Ben Shapiro.
but he's doing a good job of representing Ben's positions.
mobilizing its air force.
Syria and Jordan, and took more land from Palestine, further enclosing Palestinians into the Gaza Strip. They illegally occupied the Gaza Strip and the West Bank in what has been formally condemned ever.
Imagine losing a debate to a TikTok that you're watching.
Wait, yeah, didn't he watch this tip? Didn't he watch the TikTok already? He should just skipped it. It's sick.
He got so angry
that he's like
he's
like getting mad, but also he just gave this guy 348,000 views, and like not every single person is a Ben Shapiro fan that's watching this. And honestly, this is great for him. How do you lose to a TikTok?
I lose to a
Since
TikTok every day.
1967 as an illegal occupation in violation of international law, unilaterally
Wrong.
condemned by the
The
World
Court
Court.
gives a shit about the World Court.
What do you mean? Dude, I love this. Is my favorite way that like Ben gets angry, where he's like, the UN is anti-Semitic and no one should listen to them, or like what I mean, the IDF account or the Israeli account does this as well on Twitter, when they're like, own the Geneva Conventions by being like, ceasefire is anti-Semitic, and it's like, dude, what the sometimes you have to blow up babies. Like, what are you doing? You're not winning anybody over with this. If this is the best you got, you're cooked.
You mean organizations staffed by people who hate Israel and the UN and the Red Cross?
Yes. God, I love this.
Of the countries on the planet.
Yeah. No.
For censuring them constantly.
Staffed by, duh. Majority of the planet is anti-Semitic. Everyone's anti-Semitic. When America says like we need to allow humanitarian aid to come into Israel, that's anti-Semitic. It's anti-Semitic. Everybody hates Israel, and Israel, of course, represents all Jews. And you know, I've created this perfect little logical box in my mind. And if you don't agree with me, then you're also Hamas.
Like,
The UN, the Red Cross,
Oh my God,
the Geneva Conventions,
the Geneva
worldwide
Conventions.
consensus.
He's doing this.
He did it! I didn't know he was going to go there, but he did it. He's like, Geneva Conventions.
Geneva suggestions.
Yeah, you've literally lost the plot. You've lost the majority of the people. At least like liberals act like these things mean anything. Like, I know it doesn't, right? But like, you can't turn around and be like, Geneva Conventions. Who cares about the Geneva Conventions? We have to kill Palestinian babies. You're not even debunking him. You're just angrily yelling at like global institutions and the rules that, for the most part, benefited Israel, and now are like lightly critical of Israel's gross violations of all of those rules of war. But it's too much. I can't believe it.
In defense of Hamas, the Geneva
countries
Convention.
in the world all call on Israel to return to its pre-June 1967 borders.
That's not even true. That's not even true. Even the UN resolutions, which are garbage and stupid, even those UN resolutions call on Israel to surrender some of the occupied territory.
He's so... Dude, this is so good. He's so good. Why did he get owned by a video he chose personally to watch?
Just kept going.
That was awesome. Yeah, he hates the UN and Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch and B'Tselem
the Geneva Convention.
and the Geneva Conventions. And he also openly said occupied territories, which is cool. Why did he?
I mean, the Geneva Convention is woke. Like, we can agree that it's kind of woke.
Yeah, it's up. Like, what do you mean war crimes? You know what I mean? I think you should be able to do whatever you want during war. There's no reason for it.
Not all occupied territory. Those are disputed territories. Some occupied territories.
Yeah, but you're missing more.
Wait,
It's still going, bro. He's beating him up.
okay.
This guy doesn't even know he's in a debate with Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
right now.
and he's f***ing crushing, dude. Every moment in the last like 3 minutes of this 14-minute video has just been him getting f***ing owned and yelling about the Geneva Conventions and admitting that Israel is occupying territory and like should give back some of it, or at least according to the UN. Like it's great.
Context, you got to go back to 1948. Okay, let's
No,
go back to
67 was fine.
1948. In 1948,
No. Don't talk about that. Why is he's losing? He's losing the argument. He's still losing the argument. No. It's fine. It's fine.
No, don't talk about that.
67 is fine. Oh, what the
Zionists extirpated about 1 million Palestinians from their homes and forced them to relocate to the Gaza Strip.
What? Excuse me. In 1947-48, there was a full-scale war between Arabs and Israelis. Somewhere between 700...
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, full-scale war. Like when they went into the Deir Yassin village, which already had a truce pact with all of the nearby villages, right? The Jewish villages, and therefore did not even have like a standing militia or anything. And, they threw children in ovens and people in wells and stuff like that, and like horrifyingly them and stuff. That was a war, actually. That was just war. Simply war. Many documented instances of war crimes from that entire period of time, which Israel refuses to declassify, even though we have passed the 50-year mark, by the way, which is so American. God, Israel is so America. It's crazy. The Nakba was not a war. It's like, I'm sorry to go there, but it would be as ridiculous as saying like the Holocaust was a war, like a two-sided war. It's not. It's ridiculous. You're fighting against people who were ultimately a civilian population. Some of those people had guns, but for the most part, you literally had a standing military at that point that was armed to the fucking teeth and was butchering the shit out of Arabs. Yeah, it's like saying the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising was a war, kind of. Why Israel is blocking access to his archives? Yeah, Israel's concealing vital records to prevent darkest periods in its history from coming to light, academics say. Yeah, the only reason why we have information on the Nakba is because not everyone died. And also the members of Haganah and the Irgun brigades and the Lehi, I don't know. The different terror cells, some of which that actually called themselves terrorists, by the way, self-declared terror cells. Lahi, Stern Gang, which is the pejorative, like the negative way of referring to Lehi. Stern Gang, some of them tried to collaborate with the Nazis. Yeah, no, they're really, really bad guys. Not good at all, okay?
Either fled or were expelled from areas where there was military activity. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians left in the lead up to the war and during the war because all social services had collapsed.
I hate him so much. Like, I want to laugh, but yeah, Trail of Tears. The Native Americans were simply fled. Armenian genocide. Armenians simply fled from areas. They were not forced or anything. They just simply left on their own volition, never to return. Like, what the f*** are you saying? What are you saying? You're doing genocide denial. For the record, I brought up the Armenian example. I don't want anybody to turn around and be like, oh, see, we got him. He's denying the Armenian genocide. I'm not. I'm saying that this is akin to denying the Armenian genocide.
Because the Arab nations were telling them to get out. The other part is that you may have noticed many Arabs remain, which is why 20% of Israel's population currently is Israeli.
Oh my God, he hates Arabs so much. Some of them didn't get the memo, and they remain.
Today, about 70% of all Gazans are considered refugees from the 1948 expulsion.
Okay, pause that for a second. How is that even possible? Seriously, how's that even possible? Well, folks, unfortunately...
Oh, that's it. He got owned and then decided, F it, we're done with that.